Hello everybody! If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 622, The London Gambit. Intermediate. Agent Elias Thorne walked briskly down a narrow London street, the collar of his coat pulled up against the crisp autumn air. His target was a safe house in Notting Hill, a place that looked like any other ordinary flat. Inside, a ledger was waiting. It was called the Crimson Ledger, and it was rumoured to contain the names of every double agent working in the city. Retrieving it was a critical mission, and Elias was known for his precision. He found the flat, checked his watch, and used a small device to unlock the door without a sound. The flat was quiet, eerily so. A single dusty lamp cast a faint light on an old armchair in the corner. He moved quickly to the wall safe, which was hidden behind a painting of the River Thames. He listened carefully to the combination lock, turning the dial with expert fingers until he heard a soft click. The heavy door swung open. Inside, there was a single red leather book. Elias's heart pounded. He reached for it, but his hand froze. The book felt wrong. He opened it. Every page was completely blank. "Looking for this?" a voice said from behind him. Elias spun around. Standing in the doorway was Agent Anya Petrova, a colleague he had worked with on multiple missions. Her face was calm, but her eyes were cold. "It's a test, Elias," she said, stepping into the room. "The book is a blank, a test for you. We know you are working for them." Anya's words hit him like a physical blow. He was the one who was supposed to be the traitor. He looked at her, confused. Her voice was steady, confident. She must have believed her own words. A small smile played on Elias's lips. "A test, you say? Perhaps you're right. But for whom?" He didn't move towards her. Instead, he simply pointed to the window. Anya glanced at her own reflection in the glass. Behind her ear, a tiny, almost invisible line was visible. It was a scar, a small, imprecise mark used by a rival intelligence service to identify their top spies. Elias had only seen it once before in a classified file. "The real ledger isn't a book, Anya," he said softly. "The book was a decoy. We made a rumour about it, a story, just to see who would show up to retrieve it and who would try to stop them. The names were transmitted digitally hours ago, the moment I entered the building. The Gambit wasn't about the book. It was about you." Anya's composure vanished. Her face went pale as she realized the truth. Her eyes darted around the room. She was trapped. She wasn't here to capture a traitor. She was here to be captured. Just then, a team of agents poured into the flat. They weren't his colleagues from the agency. They were from an allied service, brought in specifically to hunt for the mole. Elias put the blank book back in the safe and closed it. He was never the target. He was the trap all along. Vocabulary notes. Briskly, meaning quickly and with energy. Example, Agent Elias Thorne walked briskly down a narrow London street. Explanation, this word tells us that Elias is moving with a clear purpose and speed, which is typical for a spy on a mission. Similar words, quickly, swiftly, rapidly. Ledger, meaning a book or record that contains a list of important information, such as names or financial accounts. Example, inside, a ledger was waiting. It was called the Crimson Ledger, and it was rumoured to contain the names of every double agent. Explanation. In a spy story, a ledger is often a secret book that holds crucial, sensitive information. It's the central item that everyone is trying to find. Similar words, register, record, log. Decoy, meaning something that is used to trick or distract someone from the real target or purpose. Example, the book was a decoy. Explanation, the blank book was not the real goal. It was just a false item designed to make people think it was important. Similar words, distraction, lure, fake. Gambit, meaning an action or strategy that is risky but is done to gain an advantage in the future. Example, the gambit wasn't about the book, it was about you. Explanation, the whole plan, creating a fake story about the book, was a risky move. Elias's team took a chance by using the decoy to expose the traitor. Similar words, strategy, maneuver, ploy. Mole, meaning a spy who has been placed within an organization, usually for a long period, to secretly pass information to an enemy. Example, brought in specifically to hunt for the mole. Explanation, this is a very common word in spy fiction. It refers to a person who is secretly working against their own side from the inside. Similar words, double agent, traitor, infiltrator. Story written by Gemini Pro AI. Image created by AI Magic X AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a really fascinating piece of source material. You sent us a short story set right in London. Classic espionage stuff.
Absolutely. It's got that shadow world feel, spies, high stakes, but there's more going on than just a simple mission.
Right. It's really a masterclass in, well, strategy and misdirection. So our mission here is to unpack this story, figure out what this Crimson Ledger is really about, and see what twists it throws at us.
It all starts with Agent Elias Thorne. He's our operative, very precise, very skilled.
And his task seems straightforward enough. Get this, Crimson Ledger supposedly holding names of double agents in London from a safe house. Notting Hill, specifically.
Standard retrieval mission, or so it seems.
So Elias gets into the flat, textbook entry, super quiet, exactly what you'd expect.
Checks the room, locates the target, a wall safe. It's hidden behind a painting, River Thames, I think.
That's the one. He works the lock, very professional, gets that little click, and the safe door swings open.
The moment of truth.
And inside, there's just one thing. A single book, red letter cover, looks like the Crimson Ledger.
The prize.
He picks it up, opens it, and, well, nothing. Every single page is completely, utterly blank.
Ah, okay. So right there, that's a classic decoy. In spycraft, a decoy isn't just a distraction. It's meant to confuse, maybe provoke a reaction.
It definitely throws Elias off. Imagine that feeling.
Yeah.
But just as he's trying to process this blank book,
Someone else arrives.
yeah, a voice behind him, looking for this. It's Agent Anya Petrova. She's a colleague, supposedly on the same side.
Supposedly. Uh-oh.
Her face is calm, but her words are sharp. She straight up accuses Elias, says he's the traitor.
Wow, okay. The tables turn fast.
She says, "It's a test, Elias. We know you're working for them." She thinks the blank book was designed to catch him out.
That's a heavy accusation. A real psychological pressure play, trying to force his hand, maybe.
But Elias,
Yeah.
he doesn't panic. Instead, he gets this, subtle smile.
Oh, what does he do?
He just points toward the window at Anya's reflection in the glass.
Her reflection. Why?
Because there, almost hidden behind her ear, is this tiny scar. A very specific mark he recognizes from classified files. It identifies a top agent from a rival service.
Ah, the counter reveal. So she was the one with the secret.
Exactly. And this is where the real plan, the Gambit, comes into play. Elias explains the book. Pure decoy.
Right, just like we thought.
The actual list of names, the real Crimson Ledger, wasn't a physical book at all. It was sent digitally hours ago.
So the whole mission, the safe house, the book, it was all theater.
Pretty much. It was an elaborate setup. A gambit, a risky move designed to gain a big advantage. The goal wasn't the ledger, it was to expose Anya.
He used himself as bait, essentially, knowing she'd likely show up if she thought he was compromised or going for the ledger. That's a bold move. A true gambit often involves putting yourself on the line.
And at work, Anya's composure just crumbles. She realizes she walked right into it. She was the target all along.
The hunter becomes the hunted.
And right on cue, boom. A team of allied agents bursts in. They were nearby the whole time, tasked with capturing the mole.
The mole being Anya, of course, a spy working from inside the organization.
So Elias wasn't the target. He was the trap. The whole thing was about fleshing out the mole.
It's a brilliant illustration, really. The Crimson Ledger, that critical piece of info everyone thinks they're after, turns out to be a phantom, or at least not what they expected. The blank book is the perfect decoy.
And Elias's whole strategy, risking himself based on his intel about Anya, that's the gambit.
And Anya is revealed as the mole. It really forces you, the listener, to think about how easily we can be misled by what seems obvious, right?
Definitely. This whole story just underscores how misdirection and clever strategy can completely flip your understanding of what's actually happening. The goal you see isn't always the real goal.
Which leads to a final thought, perhaps. In our world, which is just flooded with information, how often do we fixate on the obvious thing, the apparent target, the blank book in front of us?
Good question.
And in doing that, how often do we miss the larger gambit, the deeper strategy playing out just beneath the surface? It's a reminder, maybe, to always look a little deeper, question that first impression.